Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Chef Ramon. Today we're going to do some vegan stuff, and I've got this super duper microphone as you can see, so now you can hear me better, I hope. So we're going to do two vegan dishes today, very simple, very fast, that's why I'm doing two, and I'm going to first show you the ingredients. So here they are. For this one, which is pasta based, there's one aubergine. I've squeezed half a lemon on it, gives it a good taste, and also the lovely, it doesn't color, the aubergine sort of doesn't color, so it doesn't get old. I've got about half a garlic, bulb of garlic chopped into pieces. I've got 2 of these cayenne peppers, and excuse me, and then I've got coriander seeds, that about 1 heap tablespoon into here. I've obviously grounded it, so that's all going to be for this one. And I've got pasta. Now, if you're a true vegan, you wouldn't have this pasta because it's egg-based. You could buy a pasta which is gluten-free, and but it takes a bit longer to cook, and the consistency is not so good. So that's dish number 1. Of course, you need olive oil for it. I'm going to show you how to put that all together. And then over here, we've got another dish, very simple, that I created myself. So let me just take that olive oil out of the way. I've got beetroot, okay? And I've got 500 grams and 550 grams of faba beans, okay, out of a jar, so they're already cooked. I've got 1 heaped tablespoon of cumin that I've grounded with some salt in there. And I've got mint, a little bit for decoration and a little bit just to tear up and put on top of it. And I've got a little bit of water to help me for this dish. Okay, that's it. Those are the ingredients. So let's get cooking. So we're gonna make the first dish. I have no name for it. Faba beans with beetroot and maybe cumin. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You can give it a name. So my pan is getting hot here. It's a small pan because that's all I need. I put a little bit of olive oil. Okay, you can put a little or as much as you want. Then I'm gonna fry my cumin. Okay, I'll fry it a little bit. It's important that you always fry things like cumin or coriander seeds, because more taste goes in to the food, and it's very nice. So I'm just gonna fry that for a little while, not so long. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna reach over here and get my pepper and salt. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, as soon as that starts sizzling a little bit, which is going to do in a second, there you go, sizzling away there. Now I'm going to add my faba beans. Okay, my faba beans are in there. I'm going to add a bit of salt, pinch of salt, bit of pepper. My nice pepper thing is finished, so I'm using one of these. Apologies. And then basically just stir it and let that fry I've got it at quite a high temperature actually. Let that fry for about a minute or so with the cumin, so that all the tastes get mixed together. Oops, one escaped. And when that happens for about a minute or so, what we're going to do is basically we're going to mash this later. So what I'm going to do is to make sure it's got a bigger consistency, I'm going to give it a bit of water. I've got about, you can give as much or a little, but of course you don't want so much. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. Remember, the fava beans are already kind of cooked because they have been in a brine. So as you can see, that much water is enough. And then you leave that, give it a good stir. Leave that for about 3 minutes or so when it's boiling and hot, because you want it to be warm when you serve it, and mash it. So you leave that for about 3-4 minutes to boil and cook, and I come back to you when I do the mashing for you. Right, it's been boiling now for about 2-3 minutes, nice and hot. So what I'm going to do is just turn it off, take that away, and I'm going to go ahead and mash it right on the heat. Okay, and you get a nice mash. The juices go in. It's lovely. I did this the other day for some friends who are vegan. I had a moment of madness and I thought, what about this? And it was really nice. So as you can see, I'm mashing it. You can do it coarse or creamy, however you like it. I do it kind of in the middle, and you see how simple that is when I serve it in a bit. So that's mashing my fava beans. Again, this moment what you want to be doing is also tasting it, right, to see if it's got enough salt and pepper. For me, this is perfect. So that's it. Now I'm going to serve it. Okay, so I'm going to take my beetroot, and be careful not to get it on your white shirts like the t-shirt I'm wearing. I'm just going to cut a few pieces quite thinly. I normally buy my beetroot already boiled and packaged because it takes too long otherwise. It tastes exactly the same. So here we go, we got a few pieces. I've got my mint here, and I'm going to go ahead and serve this. So what I do is I put a dollop of it in my plate. Okay, like that. And then I put my beetroot on it. Cold, doesn't have to be hot. It's quite a nice way of eating that. And then some pieces of mint on it. If you want to decorate it, you can also put a nice decoration on it. And I use a bit of pepper to give it that consistency. Beetroot and pepper go together. So that is a beautiful dish when you combine it together. Try it. Let me know how you like it. And please don't forget to subscribe and press the gray button. I'm going to come back to you on the next scene to show you the pasta that I told you about. And so, bon appetit. Now we are on to our second very fast dish. So I've got my pan heated here, and I've got water boiling for pasta with my salt and a little bit of olive oil in there. And what I'm going to do is first do this while the water is boiling. So a dollop of olive oil. I'm going to put my garlic in. Again, as usual, you never want to burn your garlic, so always be careful with that. I'm going to give it a good stir. Then I'm going to have, remember, my coriander seeds crushed with a couple of cayenne pepper crushed as well in there. Got a good stir. The smell of lovely garlic is amazing. So then what you want to be doing is let it fry a little bit. I've got it on high heat, but you can adjust the heat as you put, if you don't want to burn your garlic. If yours is too high, then you can adjust it. So now that we have that at that stage, I'm going to put my aubergine in. Give it a good mix. Bit of salt. Bit of pepper. And then what you want to do now at this stage is, if you see, aubergine sucks a lot of olive oil. So you can either add olive oil at this stage, which I do, or you can just take it off the heat, and then the aubergine will release the oil that's sucked in. So that can now go off the heat. Meanwhile, I'm going to turn that off. Meanwhile, I'm waiting for my water to boil. I'm going to put my pasta that serves about 2 hungry people or 3. Okay. Gonna start boiling my pasta, and then later we put it all together and you'll see how good it is. Now, one of the things that I didn't tell you is that it would be very nice to put some basil in it as well if you like, but unfortunately I didn't have any, so I am not putting basil in today, but it is very nice with basil, so I recommend it. Okay, come back to you when my pasta is boiled. Right, so my pasta is boiled, I've drained it. I've also saved a little bit of pasta water as it was boiling to make sure the pasta doesn't stick together. So remember our lovely aubergine, coriander seeds and garlic. I'm going to put some pasta in it. Okay, you can put about that much. I'm going to use it all. Now at this stage what you want to do is mix it all together. Okay, normally at this stage what you want to do so that it doesn't stick together, you add the water that pasta was boiling in, and that makes it easier for you to mix. Okay, so at this stage if you had basil, you would put your basil in, fresh basil, tear it apart, put it in, gives it a nice color, nice taste, a nice aroma, and that's beautiful. So this is pretty much now ready to serve, and I'm going to show you how I serve it with my own chili olive oil. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna serve it in my favorite bowl. Bit of that, bit of aubergine, bit of pasta. There we go. I think that's enough. And then what I'd like to do is just put some more pepper on it. And I make my own oils. So I've got chili oil prepared, olive oil and chili. And I'm gonna just put a dash on there. Okay, and now the big moment to taste and see how it works out. So you take a bit of aubergine, a bit of pasta. Bon appetit. Very, very nice. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and press the grey bell.